This video is going to permanently change how you think about pay raises in your engineering career. If you want a raise, it turns out you need 4 documents. Not more hard work, not more long hours, not hoping your manager notices you, but 4 documents. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what they are. If your manager cannot clearly explain on paper why you deserve to be paid more, then you're not going to get that raise. Not because you aren't valuable, but because your value isn't usable in a budget conversation. So remember, grinding without documentation is like rowing without a rudder. You get exhausted, but you don't go anywhere. I'm an engineer with over 35 years of experience and the founder of a successful 8-figure engineering business. I've developed a proven step-by-step process that puts you in full control of your salary. Also, look in the description for the free download called the Promotions and Pay Raises Checklist. A few months ago, I met an engineer named Joseph who works for a large aerospace company. And he seems like he's a really good engineer. He's well trained, he's smart and reliable. He carried projects when others struggled. So he's a really good engineer. But every time when raises came around, he got the smallest raises. And he was I could tell he was emotionally affected by that, and I would be too. He felt passed over and ignored and not valued. He told me he would sit in his performance reviews thinking, how can they not see the value of what I do? And based on my experience, the painful part is that I know they weren't ignoring him. They just didn't even think about him. And I wonder how many times you find yourself thinking that despite how hard you work, it doesn't equal bigger pay raises. You stay late, you fix problems, you take ownership, and somehow your paycheck just doesn't reflect it. I know that this isn't a work ethic problem. Instead, it's a documentation problem. But what if raises don't come from working harder from more effort or from more hours, but instead they come from a few short strategic steps that most engineers have never been taught. HR experts would tell you to play the office politics, be visible, network, and build influence. But if you're only following that advice, as good as it can be, you'll end up frustrated because raises aren't political decisions, they're budget decisions, and budgets run on justification. Here's something important I've learned. Documented value delivers dollars, but politics crushes careers. This is how professionals prepare for raise discussions. First, they develop an impact report. This is a structured record of what you did over the past year. Not tasks and not efforts, but impact. You list things like problems you've solved, failures you've prevented, systems you've improved, or time you've saved, risks you've reduced on a program or on a project, or maybe even some products you've developed. And for each of them, you describe the situation, the actions you took, and the result on the business, the positive impact on the business. This answers the big question of what value did you create? The second document is the market data report. This shows what someone with your skills and experience is paid out in the market. You gather information like salary data and comparable roles, geographic pay differences, and this answers the question of what you are worth exactly out in the open market, what you would get if you went to another business. Now, the discussion isn't emotional, but it's factual. The third is the value ratio. This is where you quantify ratios of company income influence and cost savings and cost efficiency gains, or maybe even product sales you've been involved in. All of these parameters are taken relative to your annual compensation. This gives you hard numbers on the economic value your contributions make to the company relative to your pay. Even conservative estimates change the conversation totally. This answers the question, is the company getting far more value than they're paying for? This also answers the question of what objective parameters can I use to justify a raise for this person In other words, that's what your manager can use to justify your pay raise. Fourth is the raise brief. This is a professional summary report that gives your manager clear, structured, and business-focused information. It connects your impact, your market value, and your economic value. This answers in clear writing why a raise is justified right now. Not next month, not next year, but right now. When you have it in your hands and you hand it to your manager, you're no longer asking for a raise, but instead you're presenting a case for your pay raise. Before this video, you may not have realized you needed to prepare for your raise discussions, but now you do. Before this video, you were not in control of your career, but now you can be, because raises are business cases, and business cases require documents. Remember, documented value delivers dollars, but politics crushes careers. Therefore, use these 4 documents in your next raise discussion. And also download that promotions and pay raises checklist down in the description, because this is how professionals prepare for pay raises. And this is how you take control of your engineering career. Until next time, this is Dr. Rick Sturdivant.